Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs on the YouTube. Dave here in the garage. Area 51, mask it up, get some primer on it. Let's go. Okay, so last video we went around and sanded and stuff like that. And now we've got to prime this thing, get some high build on it, do some spot priming of epoxy on the bare metal and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess let's get at it. Excuse the voice. I've been off off work crook this last week, which sucks when you're self-employed because that's it, no income for the week, you know. Hopefully be back up full speed again tomorrow, but I haven't got anything booked in either, so technically still off work today, but I thought, oh well, I'm feeling mobile enough, I can get some masking done. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so as I talked about in the previous videos, I'm going to mask off from here down and around and stuff. I've got to mask off all inside the trunk lid and the boot lid and all that kind of stuff as well. There's a couple of bits up on here that I've got to touch up, but I won't be kind of completely re-priming those, so I'm kind of going to do a kind of two-step masking thing over here, if that makes sense. It'll hopefully make sense if it works and I do it. So anyway, let's just do this. Okay, so just doing this soft mask thing, which is just like folding over one edge of this tape a little bit. I've never actually done this before. I just was helping a guy out on a mate's car, a professional painter, and he did it around in the door jambs and kind of got strips of tape, folded this edge, so kind of a little bit different. Hopefully it'll work. You try something new every day, you know, or learn something new every day. How much do we need? Hopefully it works. Okay, so finally got the front clip masked off and under the hood and stuff, and fought with this freaking tape that I bought again. Same, I'm sure it's the same brand. I couldn't remember when I was buying tape which brand I shouldn't be buying, because it just, the 2-inch stuff's terrible. It just tears off. Crikey, sound like a different Blake. It just tears off and rips and shreds, so you end up going through half the roll, ends up on the floor, and I've just been dropping it all over the place, so I'm just like pissed off with it. But yeah, so I've masked off this in sort of 2 stages. Once we've got the primer down, I can just peel this back again, and then when we're ready to paint, I'll repaint that part of the dash. I haven't fussed too much with what I'm doing with the edge, because I will be blowing colour back into it, so it's kind of a bit of a soft edge where the primer's going to hit, and I'll peel it back and rub the primer, kind of feather it out. Alright, so what do we got to do now? I've got to mask off inside the floor, because once again, same as last time, I don't want to get tons of primer and stuff on the inside. I don't know why, it just looks kind of messy. And then I've got to mask a skirt around the whole outside. I've got to do in the boot lid too. So I'm going to go through that same shit fight in the boot lid. I used the plastic up on the underside. Really difficult to work with upside down. But the paper I've got's only like a foot. So maybe I'll actually paper the inside of the bonnet, just because it's a bit more rigid, and I can kind of tack it all up and then tape around the edge and just whoosh, tape it up, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so carry on. I might do this inner floor part. Might just chuck a drop sheet up across the parcel tray, and then I miscut my plastic for the front, so I've got a piece there all ready to rock and roll for the old floor, you know what I'm saying. So we'll get into that. Okay, so when I come to prime and paint this, I need to find something that I can sit in here which will just connect with the inside of the trunk lid, so it doesn't fully close, but it is close to it, if you know what I mean. So I can kind of prime around there, lower it down, and have it not actually touch anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what yet. Colour pack can not quite big enough. Anyway, what's the time? I'm about done. I'm wiped actually. So as I was saying, I'm a bit wiped out today. So look at this. So I got given this light box, which I've repurposed as into a side light in the garage. So when we come to do some painting in that in here, I can see a little wee bit better. Not much better though, to be fair. What am I going to do? I'm going to turn that other light off. Yeah, hang on. Switch that off. There's the old 383 block. I'll leave it at that for today. I'll be back in here Saturday morning, and I'll get the skirt all sort of masked up all around, back wheels and stuff, and the tailpipes. And then one final wipe down, a bit of a spot prime with the epoxy, and then yeah, wet on wet, hook into it straight into the high build, or do 2 or 3 coats of high build and see where that gets us. Can only do 4 at a time with this particular flavour. I don't know whether that's normal or not, but any more than that it might start kind of cracking and doing weird shit, and I don't really want that. So ideally 2 or 3 should be enough. Anyway, till Saturday, I'll see you then. Hey guys, so next day, feeling mildly better. Do have a bit of a cough though, so there might have to be some editing of that sickness out of here, just so protect you guys and stuff. So put your masks on. Yeah, so but anyway, I'm gonna carry on masking. Mask a skirt around the bottom of it, just so I don't get any overspray on the chassis and such. Gonna try a slightly different approach, masking off the wheel arches and things like that. I'm not too worried if I get overspray in the underbody and stuff, because it is just black gloss. I think it's lacquer. I can't actually remember what I painted it with. So it's going to be easy to touch up. I can just, you know, spray some more stuff over there. But anyway, that's enough jibber jabber. Let's get on with this and get this moving ahead. Some masking going on. And yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's go. I'm ready. Okay, so that's the skirt masked. I think that's pretty much it. I think, I don't know, my head's a bit at the moment still. Yeah. I think I got everything. I did notice I'd forgotten, I was always gonna seam seal the kind of lap joint around the inner guard sort of thing, so I went ahead and did that. I didn't bother filming it. It was just basically where the outer guard rolls round and meets up with the inner guard, and it makes a bit kind of like that, but up that way, and it's plug welded and stuff around there. There's a seam, like an exposed, with the two pieces of sheet metal. The end of it's kind of exposed. Well, it's not, it's kind of got paint and stuff on it, but I just wanted to get some seam sealer in there just to make sure any kind of gaps that aren't super tight are all sealed up and stuff like that. So that's done. Yeah, and I switched to this brand of masking tape, bought from the same shop as this one. This is a more known brand. This is more of a kind of budget brand. This Norton stuff, you know, we all know Norton. I think you can get that overseas as well. They do sandpaper and stuff as well. This tape, terrible. Like, I could barely get a decent pull out of it before it, you know, you try to start your off sort of thing, and it just wants to do that kind of stuff, and it's I don't know, it doesn't feel any stickier. But once you get it going, it's not too bad, but it's, you know, you tear it off wrong the next time you go to start it, and then it works, and then, but you know, it's just a pain in the ass. So won't be buying that. This stuff here is called POW. It's just painter's tape, green painter's tape. It's actually slightly cheaper, about, I want to say about $1 cheaper, but every time easy. Seems to be quite forgiving on, you know, sticking things that feel like it actually sticks better, but it still seems to release quite well. But proof will be in the pudding once we unmask said POW tape. So after whinging about the 2-inch tape yesterday, I switched to that wider one today, and excuse me, big difference. I don't think my under hood masking is holding up terribly well. I was trying to use that hood prop to kind of get the height of where I want it to sit when I kind of blast it, because I've got to blast the edges to a degree, but it keeps coming unmasked. I was trying to use it was with that freaking shit tape as well, so I might go back in there tomorrow morning with the other tape and try and get that tightened up a little bit. Otherwise I end up overspraying, and I'll be trying to polish it out from underneath, which won't be very good. Yeah, then it's going to go throw a few drop sheets around the place, move the old bomb truck out, might cover up some stuff with some of that extra plastic, just kind of keep the overspray down a bit from making everything textured. But yeah, so that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully we're getting some primer on this thing. Oh, found something. I've got a 20-litre gas can sitting under there that holds it up just right, so once I've primed all the inside there, I can drop it down and still access everything else. Know what I'm saying? Okay, tomorrow. So that's it for today. I'm going to clean up all my rubbish, and tomorrow, all going well, it'll be wax and grease wipe down, spot prime with the epoxy, and then smoke it with the 2K high build stuff. You can't help it, you get a tube and it has to be a trumpet. Hey guys, right, we're ready to go. We're all got some epoxy mixed up, so I can epoxy prime those again completely and seal that. I'll go around and just spot prime the bare metal, even though the 2K primer I'm using, it's good for spot priming little bits of bare metal and stuff, like overcoating bare metal and shit. But since I've got the epoxy here, and I'll use it, I'll seal up the bits of bare metal and some of the thin spots and stuff, and then I can go wet on wet with the 2K high build stuff for a maximum of 4 coats. I don't know whether I'll do that many. I'm probably going to sand half of it off or most of it off and end up through the metal again, but yeah, anyway, that's just I'm blabbering. So I'll pour some paint into the gun, chuck my mask on, got my lucky painting hat on, and let's do it. Okay, so that's the spot priming done. Now I've got a minimum flash of 30 minutes for wet on wet with this. And being that it's not a very nice day, it's actually a bit rainy and a bit cold and stuff. It's not crazy cold, but it's rainy outside. So I might give it a bit of time to sort of flash off before I hit the other primer, let the air clear in here a little bit. It's not too bad actually for me. But yeah, there's a bit fumey in here still, so I'll pop upstairs for a bit and let this air out. Got my booth fan going and all my dust-free environment protections in place. But yeah, so we're getting there. Sorry, just getting just distracted, squirreled. Bloody air hose is in the cold. It's real hard, so it gets like coiled up and tangled around things and shit like that. It's a freaking nuisance. I should really kind of. It's pretty old, so I don't remember it always being so awkward. But I don't know whether there's kind of softer, more pliable air lines out there. But maybe I should look into that one day. Anyway, so I'll get set up for the. Oh, I'll go and leave this to flash off. I've got to open the boot, open the bonnet a bit for this next stage, and open the doors so I can do all inside the jams. I didn't show you actually, but I've set this up. See my little fancy rigging in that there? That stops the door from shutting completely. And before we get strikers or door rubbers and things like that in place, it's going to kind of keep wanting to go in and hit somewhere, metal on metal sort of thing. So I just chuck those blocks in there for now to kind of alleviate that while I'm painting and priming, so we don't have primer sticking to itself and stuff. But anyway, I'll go and have a bit of a break, have a coffee. Alrighty, so ready to start shooting this primer. Already mixed up my first batch. I'm just going to mix as I go rather than, you know, mix up a whole bunch and whatnot and do a bit of a bad chat. I've seen a video where he did that once upon a time, where he mixed up his whole, you know, gallon of primer and it started going off in the pot, you know. So not going to do that. Yeah, so let's just get at it, I guess. Going to be a bit of time lapse spray painting primer, but yeah, by the end of it, it should all be kind of one shade of grey again, a different grey than the epoxy grey. So I haven't sprayed this particular primer very much. I did the dash with it from memory. I think it's okay. I can't remember whether I found it thin or thick or whatever, but it's supposed to be spraying out of a 1.6 to 1.8 tip. I haven't got one, so I'm spraying out of a 1.4. I went through all my spray guns and cobbled together this particular unit, which a mate gave me, but it didn't have a cup, and I managed to figure out how to swap the cup from one of my other defunct spray guns. So did I split it or something? I split something where the airline goes in or something like that. It was just a cheapie, but this one here seems to spray all right. Not a big fan, you know, big wide fan though, but yeah, could be the thickness of the paint and the tip size, I guess, which is contributing to that. Yeah, so let's do it.
Okay, so that's one coat on those bits, but I've done 3 coats in the jams around the boot lip where I needed to, just so I can now just concentrate on the outer body. So I just kind of shot ahead, showed one coat filming, and then then I just kind of waited for it to flash, second coat, waited for a flash, and then did a quick third coat just on the kind of areas that I know will get more sanding. But yeah, now just gonna hit the body and go for it. Let's go.
Okay, so my memory card is just about full on this memory card. I think it's the memory card. Oh, hey, 25 minutes to go. That's 2 full coats on everything, on the main body, on everything, the guards, skirts, fuel flat, skirt, guard, both sides, door, to hold you about the door jams and all that kind of stuff. Getting a bit of water coming through my air line. It's actually coming out, it's not actually coming out of the fitting, it's coming out of my, right here. See that? was a bit of a pain because you don't get any warning, so I might, for the final coat, wrap a rag around that. I did have a little water trap for right on the gun. I don't know what I've done with it. Used to plumb it in right before the gun, but the problem with that is it makes this rigid down to about here, so it's like really difficult to get down low. Yeah, you can jack the car up to the sky and that, but then it's harder to get to the roof and stuff, and you kind of feel, you know, if you're using steps or planks and blocks and stuff, then you got to move all of those part way through. I reckon like a 90-degree fitting would be kind of ideal, so you kind of, hose doesn't come straight out here, comes out maybe 60 degrees sort of thing, so it kind of comes back, and you can run the hose kind of up your arm or something, you know, with some cable ties or something like that. But yeah, she's trucking along. As I've been doing this, I keep spotting little bits that I missed with the glaze and the little fine fill and stuff like that. One of them's on the driver's door. There's a couple I remember from the driver's door, but yeah, just little wee bits. There's a couple of bits down in these returns for the bumper. Probably not a big deal because the bumper fits pretty snug into there, and you'd have to be like mirrors and shit to be able to see them, but you know what I'm saying. Oh god, the fucking hose. Is there a trick? I don't know. I've dragged it out onto the road and stuff before and tried to flick it around and all that kind of shit in the past just to try and sort of smooth it out, but you know, did I miss a bit there with my seam seal? I might have to redo a little bit of that. Right up the front here, it's a bit gappy. But yeah, anyway, I'll do the third coat and then I'll bring you back once I've done that, yeah? Okay, see you then. Okay, check it out. 3 coats. Kind of looks like it did with 2 coats. Yeah, so on the whole, that's a shadow. I thought that was a big dent for a minute there, crikey. On the whole, kind of sprayed out pretty well, I thought. A few bits of globby shit come through in the primer, like that. That's me not straining it. But yeah, that's alright. That's, you know, it'll get sanded out. A few things I noticed, like down in here, I didn't get my seam sealer all the way in there, so I'll have to kind of go through and touch up a couple of bits and bobs in there. More crap in the paint. That's alright, it's just primer, it's all got to get sanded. Went through probably 3 litres, so just like not quite a gallon. And I had remembered I'd used that primer on my inner fenders as well, so I've done the dash and the inner fenders with that particular 2K primer, so I've used it a little bit. I did kind of thin it on the higher end, being that I didn't have a big enough tip, like a, you know, as spec tip, so I kind of thinned it. It was kind of like 10 to 30% thinning ratio, and I kind of went 30%. A lot of that's because I think it sprays out nicer anyway. Still got a bit more to gas off when there's more thinners in it though, I guess. Not an expert, don't take this as gospel. Oh crikey, the painter world would come down on me like a ton of bricks if I was wrong. The old internet can be pretty savage on some of the painting and bodyworking forums and Facebook pages and stuff like that. Probably on the YouTube as well, I don't know, haven't really noticed that so much. But yeah, so I ended up with probably a full cup kind of left over from my mix that was with that just under about 3 litres or just over 3 litres. So I kind of went round and I just did a 4th coat on a couple of kind of areas symmetrically around the car, like where I've done a lot of body work, like the top of these fenders, around the middle of the fender there where there was those elbow dents, the middle area of the bonnet where there was kind of sort of funny little dents in the bonnet, the kind of C-pillar area and the rear quarters and the trunk lid, and down on that hip, front of the hip there sort of thing, I kind of give them another bit of a load up as a fourth TH coat. Sorry, I'm still a bit kind of gummed up. And yeah, so next up is another shit ton of sanding choice. Go around and I might, before I start sanding, I might go around and find all those little blemishes now that it's all kind of flushed, the ones I can see with my eyeballs, the real obvious ones, and address those. There's another bit round the other side, bottom of the, on the other side by that window there, just under the drip rail, there's a bit that I just didn't sand very well at all, like a bit of filler. It's like almost like I didn't sand it at all. So I've got to go and sand that up and smooth that down. Contemplated leaving it, and I thought, no, that'll be the thing that bothers me forever and ever more. So I'll go around and kind of find all those things, hopefully, and clean all those up. No, I'm saying. God, 4 minutes and I'm just yammering on. Hopefully I'll edit this down to something a bit more palatable. But yeah, so that's where we're at. More sanding to come. Guide coat, probably a good idea at this point. If I'm finding stuff with my eyes, then I'm gonna find stuff with a guide coat again. Oh, I'm hungry. I didn't realise what the time was. It's like 2:30. I've been painting all morning. But yeah, so that's where we're going to leave this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and notifications bell if you want to get notified. Like, share, comment if you've got something constructive to say, or just say hello, let us know where you're from. And if you're working on anything in particular, I know there's a few guys that watch the channel regularly, you've got projects on the go, and you know, keep at it, guys. It's a chore sometimes, but look at it, it's just like, you know, coming together. There's still so much more to do. Oh my gosh. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, that's where we're going to leave this video. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Don't forget, we're on the Facebook and the Instagram, and right here on the YouTube, DMAC Customs. Dave here. Yeah, and you're welcome. And yeah, till next time, take it easy and peace. Hopefully this coldy flu thing will be just like dealt with by then, and I'll be back at work properly and have some work to do. Luckily I didn't have any bookings this week, man. It's grim out there at the moment. So subscribe this channel. I need to make some revenue from it because I'm not getting enough at work at the moment. Yeah, it's the problem with being self-employed, you know. When you're up, you're up. When you're down, you're down. You know, there's no one propping you up. You got to do it all on your own. So, subscribe. Thank you. Till next time. Take it easy. Peace.